without complaints. It's so weird when I'm doing these, actually, and I'm like talking about something as though I'm there, and then I'm whatever, you'll figure it out. Sitting at the small restaurant table, I look out the windows at the world beyond. It's my favorite spot. I can see the winding river down the hill through the trees. The forest-covered hills appear like immutable guardians in the distant horizon. The brilliant green of the grass's new growth stretches across the fields like an invitation. There are others who walk these paths under my view. Across the small field, there is a large tree just past the edge of a slight slope. Because of the lay of the land and its dense foliage, its heavy branches rest thick and close from its summit clear to the ground. Most evenings I see a similar scene. A thin but upright form, wearing slightly dingy clothing and a ball cap, checks for anyone watching from the edge of the back parking lot, then quickly walks to the tree and slides below its branches. I've seen him take a bag and walk the perimeter till he goes down by the river, too. It's a path I've seen others take as well, and for now I can only speculate in my heart. Could he be washing laundry? Meeting up with others? Hiding additional supplies? Each time I see this man's profile, the words tired but unyielding come to mind. Some of the others that pass my view have movements that are covert, a gaze that implies hesitation and fear or aggression. This man, however, seems not to have yet been broken by his current state of life. A yearling deer with small antlers still coated and soft with fuzz walks up from the river, browsing as it nears the man's camp. I know he's still there when it starts and leaps away from the trees and bounds deeper into the fields. Were it not for the alarm of the small deer, I'd never know there was anything there to startle its fragile heart. This, the place I call home, lies both off the interstate, creating easy access for drug traffic, and contains quite a bit of tribal territory. Not sure if you know this, but native lands have always been targeted by the unscrupulous due to the differing laws and regulations that command their territories. People take advantage. People suck. If you've traveled around the country, you can see the patterns for yourself. Much damage has been dealt, and the impact spreads to the nearby locales. Due to a myriad of factors, my home is actually an enormous slum. Though it's beautiful and captures a sense of romance and heritage, rampant poverty abounds, drugs and crime are common, and the age that most children start to be sexually active is just 14, though I know of quite a few who start as early as 11. The cycle repeats with each generation, growing only more convinced that this is the way of the world. In some ways, it's admirable. The pioneer mindset is strong this far into the deep country. Here, the folks mostly handle things on their own. They're a strong and proud people. There are many places nearby where the police are not welcome and do not enforce the laws of this society. A cursory visit now and then, the locals will not let them know if they're required. Sometimes it feels as though this place cannot even be part of the same country we see on the news. The lifestyles of our occupants are so far removed from what is propagated via the media. People may talk now and then about the state of things here, but many don't even seem to notice. They spend their days living in the moment, enjoying simple pleasures and trying to make ends meet. I have to wonder, if they saw before their eyes a different way of life, different patterns, would they recognize that they too deserve a better future? The complaints heard by the people of my home are rarely related to their own situation and the way it compares to the rest of the world. They are mundane, but timeless. This location laid off workers. They hope their friends can find a new job to pay the rent soon. It's getting hard to make ends meet. Cigarette prices went up, but how else can they get through their days? Utilities just went up again. Going to have to let a friend stay around who's going through a tough time. At least they can help with the bills, and they'll probably share their drugs. Can't even afford McDonald's anymore. Even the value menu is too high to casually waste their money on its dubious quality. Over and over, I see people cutting costs the only way they know. They cut the food budget again and again. However, the prices for food are going up too. The same money no longer purchases the same volume. If these patterns don't change soon, how are we going to survive? The math doesn't add up. We can't make enough money here to afford the standard of living we are told we should expect to receive. There are jobs to be had, but they pay so little that there's barely a point. You can't get an apartment on a single minimum wage salary. In fact, you can barely make it by on 3. You get at least 4 or 5 to feel comfortable. By comfortable, I mean safe. Most of the homes here are older, prone to needing serious maintenance and upkeep. Who bothers when they're so tired from trying to meet the minimum needs of their loved ones? I see people like the man under the tree, living his life the only way he can, hiding his situation from the world and just making it work. This is not something that we should be bearing without complaints. Politicians are talking about change and restructuring in order to just take the edge off of the suffering of the people, yet that won't solve the underlying issue. And even if we do make drastic changes, it may be too late. When things have progressed to this point, the speed of decay becomes an exponential increase. It seems like we are frogs being boiled in a pot. At first, the heat was increasing slowly and we still had hope, but now it's begun to speed out of our control. When people are starving, everyone becomes an enemy. The end of the world as I've known it is coming, and I know we're not ready. I can still see a better path forward. There are still things that can be done to save us. But I wondered, have I waited too long without complaint to make a difference? Have you?